All right, so big doings today. You wrote about it. Let's start with just kind of, can you give us an explanation of the dynamic between this kind of cabal of agents that have all of a sudden injected themselves into the mix, and then the kind of the classic battle between the union and the league?
Yeah, what could be simpler? So decertification is like the nuclear option that players unions have. It doesn't necessarily give them as clear advantage. It just gives them an ability to totally change the dynamic and change the risks the league has, basically. So the league doesn't want to take its pretty strong situation. They're negotiating from strength, and then just change everything and put them in front of a judge who could take away their advantages or give them advantages. Um, However, the players have a lot of leverage. All these people who say that they don't have any leverage, I think it's crazy talk. Like they won the last CBA talks, and you could argue they won the ones before that. And they have the same leverage they ever had. The only thing that's changed is the owners are crankier than they used to be, and more profit driven than they used to be. But the players can still shut down the league, which is a big power to have. So I think the union's basically saying, look, we're not yet at the time where we're canceling games. We actually did the most impossible thing, which is, David Stern and Billy Hunter both sort of hinted that they think they're seeing eye to eye on money. That was the whole
Right.
game. We always thought once the money worked out, it was the game over. There's still this hard cap thing. I went back and looked. Billy's a genius. Like he told me in March it was going to come down to the hard cap and whether or not they wanted it. It's like at the time I was like, really, the hard cap? But that's where we are. They're going to duke this out, and then if you read Dave McMiniman's story today, sources say that it was like Robert Sarver of the Phoenix Suns and Dan Gilbert of the Cavaliers were among those in the room who were nitpicking the player's offer, while the Jim Dolans and Jerry Busses were rolling their eyes like, hey, the players are ready to make a good deal here. Let's make it. So I feel like today in the owners' meeting, which is as we speak, the task is can Davis Stern get all the owners into the moderate camp, or enough of the owners into the moderate camp to go back to the table with the players and see what they can get done.
Hey, we're just going to inject here a question from Zach Lowe from the Point Forward, who is in the chat right now and asked a self-interested question. He says, should the Celtics fans be more furious than they are right now that Wick Grossbeck is reportedly willing to ditch the 12 season? Of course, the Celtics are old. This might be their very, very last run. Um, yeah, what do you think about this?
Well, I don't think I never want to make people furious. Look, I think Wick runs. I think the league in general is healthier because there are some owners like Wick who run their teams like businesses. I think it forces you to innovate and be smarter. And I don't like these teams that are run like hobbies and they just do everything because it's the way we've always done it. Like it's not fun for me to watch. But no, I think I'm glad they're profit motivated. But they're going to get a big local TV deal and they're going to make tons of money. And once that's in place, I imagine the clock on that's running on Kevin Garnett's knee will become a priority.
Right. It seems like you're feeling pretty good right now. One thing that I had a comment today on HoopSpeak on a post that I wrote that I ended up just posting the comment because I thought it was a really interesting point. Um, it seems like most people are reporting that the agents that are calling for decertification are thinking that that will, kind of get rid of Billy Hunter or compromise his position. But this commenter who goes by Ignorus, which is funny because he actually has a lot of really good ideas, said that that might actually end up working in the players' union's favor because then the players, then the agents kind of become like the crazy guy that Billy Hunter is holding back, and he's saying, okay, like work with me, I'm going to be reasonable. These guys want to decertify and be crazy, and so instead of hurting Hunter, it might actually be something that strengthens his leverage.
I mean, it could work like that. It's not coordinated like that though. Like I
Right.
think there's real avarice here. And you know, I think that the difference is like um, the NFL players decertified on a day when I heard the owners had moved hundreds of millions of dollars in their offer, and like the way deals go, like, when you're trying to buy a house or whatever, like when one side just moves a huge amount, it's deal time, right? You're never going to get a better day than that. And then that day when they might have been able to negotiate even further, they decertified, and then eventually they kind of went through a different process and got back to roughly where they had been. My thought is, this could be deal time for the players. Like, if
Right.
Jerry Buss and Jim Dolan and David Stern and Billy Hunter and Derek Fisher are pretty much seeing eye to eye, like, is this the time to change to a totally different system? Like, it just doesn't seem sensible to me. Also, I think those 5 agents um, are probably among the shrewdest negotiators around, but they negotiate for individuals in a market of 30 teams. So, like, Dan Fagan can take Anderson Varejao and stash him in South America and play hardball. And the implicit threat is that if the Cavaliers don't pay him, they'll find one of the 29 other teams that will. This is a different thing. This is like 25 people in a room who have to deal with each other. There's no other option. Has to be these owners, has to be these players. And not only do they have to agree on a point or two, like salaries and stuff, they have to make 1,000-page document that's going to govern a whole league for the better part of a decade. It's just a big collaborative process where you can't have a my way or the highway attitude. So, yeah, I think it's good that there's credible threat of decertification to sort of maybe stoke the fires a little, but and in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, maybe it's a different thing where it's like this whole process is broken. We need to randomize it in some other way. But for now, it seems like if they're close on money, just get it done. Come on.